The darkness of the night. At this time, many are fast asleep after a stressful day. However, there are those who have to stay up all night. They are the farmers. News First team set off to Sigiriya to witness firsthand how farmers sacrifice a good night's sleep to protect their crops.
Male male temilia lana ol male rale rale moding ramen.
Although these words are lively to listen to, the person saying them has a burden of thought on his head. Their thoughts are occupied with the horrors that take place after the sun sets and the future of their families.
Radhinga Devi Yange Bale.
We were welcomed by a set of rhymes when we entered a farmland in the Alakolawava area in Sigirimulla, Sigiriya. Although this was not something new to the locals in the area, they make these rhymes keeping in mind that they have to safeguard their crops.
News First is now in Sigiriya Alakolawava to take a first-hand look of the man-elephant conflict that is prevalent in this area.
When we visited the area, a group of wildlife officers from the Sigiriya Wildlife Office were also on patrol in the vicinity. The incumbent of the Sri Sugata Abhinavarama Viharya, Venerable Koskaha Hinne Jinanda Thera, assisted us in numerous ways. While travelling through many farmlands, we came across a tomato cultivation that had been ravaged by wild elephants. Our crops are destroyed, we are helpless, we can't say that this will be over. The elephants destroy the entire cultivation after eating the tomatoes. There is no minister who does any work. Although they say that parliament should be cleaned, nothing happens. Another group of farmers greeted us with a warm cup of tea and told us that although they mentioned their grievances to the officials, it just falls on deaf ears. The farmers are aware that wildlife officers do not have sufficient transport facilities to monitor the situation. Wildlife officers were quick to arm themselves for self-defense once we heard the sound of elephants. As wildlife officers, what steps have you taken regarding this issue? An electric fence has been put up from Wawala to Mahasen. There were certain problems with the maintenance of the fence in the recent past. Because there were not enough officers from the department, we have to seek the assistance of the Civil Defence Force. The News First team did not forget to pay a visit to a farmer's home.
Elephants in the Alakolawava area are increasingly straying into these farmlands and destroying their crops. And as a result, they pose threats and leave their lives and livelihood in jeopardy. Therefore, these villagers say that necessary steps should be taken by the Ministry of Wildlife and Conservation to mitigate the man-elephant conflict and to provide them with necessary equipment to keep these elephants away from their life and to improve their existence. News First will keep a closer watch on this matter. Stephanie Lazarus for News First. Director of the Buckingham Centre for Astrobiology at the University of Buckingham, Professor Chandra Wickramasinghe says that the results obtained after testing the meteoroid fragments found in Polonnaruwa is evidence that there is life outside of planet Earth. The professor made this comment at a press briefing held in Galle on the progress made on the tests on the meteoroid fragments.
Samples of the meteoroid fragments were sent to Professor Chandra Wickramasinghe at the Cardiff University. Subsequent to tests conducted through electron microscope at a laboratory at the Cardiff University, Professor Chandra Wickramasinghe and a group of scientists arrived in the country later on to conduct further tests.
To take a very close look at the site in Polonnaruwa where there was a meteorite fall on the 29th of December. And within those stones we found the most amazing structures which are called diatoms. So they were living forms of life, primitive forms of life that appear to be deeply ingrained in this meteorite. And so it was very important for us to do further examination, cross-examine witnesses, see the site for ourselves, and plan future experiments that would prove beyond a shadow of doubt that living particles, living cells have been raining down on our planet. And the evidence that we have from the Polonnaruwa meteorite is really quite stunning. There's, in our view, in the view of the three of us, there's no doubt that this is evidence of life existing outside the Earth.
NASA Marshall Space Flight Center astrobiologist Professor Richard B. Hoover, speaking at the media briefing, said that the meteoroid fragments found in the farmland in Allaganmila are quite different from the meteoroid fragment he had tested before.
There will be meteoriticists that will have problems because these stones that are in the paddy fields do not look like any of these carbonaceous meteorites that have been studied. However, they do contain carbon, and they do have many of the minerals that are present in the carbonaceous meteorites, but their density is lower than 1, and these stones will float on water. Well, on Earth, there is a great deal known about the rocks of Earth, and pumice is a volcanic rock that is capable of floating on water, but you have no volcanoes near this area, and of course also pumice, which we have studied, does not contain diatoms or fossil cyanobacteria. But more work has to be done in order to understand the nature and characteristics of the Polonnaruwa stones.
You're watching News First, and up next is a look at Action TV.
The examination held in the Western Province yesterday for the selection of the senior and junior squads for the Mathematics Olympiad turned out to be an improper and chaotic affair. Although over 3,000 students from the Gautami Girls' School in Colombo arrived to sit for the examination in 3 groups, the examination for the 3 groups were not held in accordance with the timetable. While some students received the question papers on time, another group had to waste time while question papers were photocopied and distributed. Thereby, this examination can be considered one which pressurized one group unduly and was therefore an unequal examination.
This
was an effort that took place in the Western Province when the examination was organized in provincial level. So from the Education Ministry, the Provincial Education Secretary and the Director have been informed about this. We request that a proper investigation be conducted in this regard and that those responsible be brought forth.
The Mathematics Unit of the Ministry of Education, which hopes to conduct an investigation with Western Province education authorities regarding yesterday's examination and take some sort of action against the responsible parties, has been tasked with an important responsibility in selecting the senior and junior squads for the Mathematics Olympiad.
The Mathematics Unit of the Ministry of Education only provides advice and other decisions on this matter. One is formulating the content of the examination paper. The Ministry of Education also looks into that matter. We sent a copy of that to the respective provinces. So it is the local government institute that will decide on printing and distributing the examination paper.
It is true that the Ministry of Education had notified Western Province education authorities regarding the relevant examination. However, notice that the examination must be held yesterday and all other relevant information was submitted 2 weeks prior to the examination. A document containing the content of yesterday's question paper was submitted to the Western Province Education Authorities by the Mathematics Unit of the Ministry of Education via email on Wednesday. Although the English and single medium question paper content was received on Wednesday, the content of the Tamil medium question paper was further delayed. At the same time, the Mathematics Unit of the Ministry of Education submitted an amendment to the single and medium question paper on Thursday after the question papers had been printed. On Friday, when another amendment was submitted, since the printing of question papers had been completed, the Western Province Education authorities had disregarded it. Thereby, it is clear that question papers which should have been amended were used in the singular medium examination yesterday. Against this backdrop, the Mathematics Unit of the Ministry of Education, calling on the Western Province Department of Education to investigate the matter, is in fact calling for an investigation into themselves. Therefore, there is a possibility that the result of such an investigation may be swept under the rug. Therefore, shouldn't an inquiry be postponed and priority given to correcting the mistakes in yesterday's examination? Wouldn't such correction entail the reholding of the examination?
Taking a look at our developing story for tonight, convening a media briefing today, the People's Movement Against Imperialism expressed these views on alleged imperialist intervention in the country at present.
මේ මොහොත වෙනකොට අපේ රටට නායකත්වයේ සැපිය යුතු.
At this moment, we can feel the need to urgently establish forces that will provide leadership to the country. Because the government which runs our country is acting as per the wishes of foreign forces, preparations have been made for these foreign forces to rob our country or annex it. On one hand, the government is acting as a foe to the country by violating human rights, democracy and good governance. Foreign forces are using this opportunity on the other hand to intervene in our country. Thereby, on one hand, our own government is working against us, while on the other hand, foreign forces are using it as an opportunity to intervene in our country.
ඒ වගේම විජාතික බලවේග ඒවා උපයෝගී කරගෙන අපේ රටට මැදිහත් වීමට අනිත් පැත්තෙන් එරෙහිව කටයුතු කරනවා.
Well, time to take a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day. Also on the news tonight, Mayor of Colombo A.J. Muzammil says the assistance of the government is also required to develop the city of Colombo. He expressed this view on the Minnal program telecast last night on our sister channel Shakti TV.
Today, to develop the city of Colombo, we need the assistance of the government and the cooperation of the Defence Secretary. We need the support of the Urban Development Authority. In truth, we must praise the initiative taken by the Defence Secretary to develop the city of Colombo. Colombo is the capital of the nation. Tourism, the economy, investment and all other important factors are centered in this city. Colombo is the capital. It is important for the entire country. Therefore, the city must be secured and developed. For this, we will definitely need the assistance of the government.
அந்த நகரத்தை அபிவிருத்தி செய்வது அதற்கு அரசாங்கத்துடைய உதவி எங்களுக்கு தேவை நிச்சயமா.